If you've ever looked at a patch of grass or an overgrown corner and thought, oh, that would make a nice garden bed, but then considered the digging that might require and thought, no thank you very much, then this video might just be for you. I'm going to show you how to create a beautiful, productive, no-dig bed from scratch. And honestly, it's one of the easiest things you can do in a garden. So what exactly is no-dig gardening? It's exactly what it says on the tin. It's creating a garden without digging into the soil. No turning it, breaking it up. You're essentially feeding the soils from above so that nature can do the hard work from below. The beauty of this is that it preserves the soil structure. All those worms, fungi and microorganisms stay undisturbed, and they are what makes soil healthy. And the result is better drainage, better moisture retention and fewer weeds. It really is a win-win. People like Charles Dowding has been championing this approach for years, and the results speak for themselves. And you don't need acres of land or years of experience to achieve it. You can start with one small bed today. The reason I love no-dig, beyond it being just easier on your back, which that genuinely is a good reason, is the sustainability side of things. When you dig, you release carbon that's stored in the soil, you disturb the fungal network that helps share the nutrients back to the plant, and you bring dormant seeds to the surface. And frankly, it's a lot of effort for something you don't actually need to do. No-dig works with nature rather than against it. You're mimicking what's happening on the forest floor. Leaves fall, they decompose, they create a great soil structure. We're just trying to do the same thing with compost and cardboard. No-dig Basics is all about blocking out the light from the ground below, covering it with a layer of compost or growing medium that you then grow into, and then that basically kickstarts your bed. What you use to block out that light can be anything. The more common one to use is cardboard because it's easily available, cheap, and will decompose down within the space of about 6 months, if not sooner. So it's really easy to use. Now, where I am and what my garden does, it's been built out of a field. We are often subject to a lot of perennial weeds. I'm surrounded by fields, so all of those weeds are still in existence in those fields and quite easily get blown into the garden and come up again. So the perennial weeds that I have are couchgrass, nettles, thistles, buttercups. I kind of like to do a belt and braces approach. I have built many no-dig beds here in the cutting patch and in the main garden itself. I had an experiment in one area in the main garden where I was creating I dug out what was there, created a new no-dig bed and ran out of cardboard. So I know that one area has cardboard, the other area had no light blocking substrate, and I then just put the compost on top. And I can clearly see now, 3 years later, where the cardboard wasn't, because there is more weeds there of the persistent type, so the grasses, than there is in the other side. Now there's still weeds in the other side, but it's not as much and not as persistent. So I know having the cardboard, for me in my garden, is essential. Last year I experimented in the cutting patch because I acquired some half-ripe manure. So apparently it was 3 months aged, and really you shouldn't use fresh manure on the garden because it burns any plant material. So you ideally leave it to decompose, I'm guessing, mature, let's call it mature for 6 months, so the acidity of that manure isn't quite so strong, and the plants that you plant into it is then safe. Now, I had this manure at the end of the winter, and I knew it was going to be at least 3 months before I was planting plants in it. So I thought, well, if I put the manure down now, in 3 months' time, it'll be fine. So I did that, and again, I ran out of cardboard. So one bed had the cardboard layer and one bed didn't. Now, interestingly, in this exercise, the one with the cardboard has more weeds, although nothing compared to the main garden beds, but it still had a persistent grass problem than the other bed that I hadn't put the cardboard down. And I think that's because the manure added to blocking out the light, plus the extra acidity killed whatever was underneath. Now, in the cutting patch, that was absolutely fine. I had no plants that I wanted to save in it. It was a bare bed. So it killed the weeds I wanted, and it was perfect. For this exercise, because I've only partly managed to kill the grass on this bank, I am going to take a similar approach. This time, I have acquired some wood chip. It is fresh wood chip that was just chopped down and made this week. So it is in a similar state to the manure. You wouldn't put fresh wood chip on your garden bed around plants that you want to keep because it can cause them to burn. Whilst I've been filming this, I had to do a bit of research on whether my wood chips were actually going to cause me a problem. Obviously doing it after the event, which is always recommended, but I actually found out they are much better than I was expecting. So I'm really pleased with what I've done, and I'll go into the details perhaps in another video. Back to this video. So what I think I will do, in addition to the cardboard, I'll be doing the wood chip. But I am going to put the wood chip down first, so that is in contact with the ground. My thinking being is this will compost down slowly, and it will, because it's wood, it will act as a bit of a sponge to a certain extent, so it will retain some water as the summer goes on, and hopefully that will mean that less watering is required on that bed. I don't really water my garden beds, but just in case, it is on a slope, so we may find that it dries out quickly, but we'll see. So that I'll be putting that on first, then I'll cover it with cardboard, and then on top of that I will put the garden compost that I have, and I'm only hoping, fingers crossed, that I've got enough of that as well. From the path side, which will be near the hedge, it doesn't need to be particularly wide, but it does need to be accessible. So I'm going to use this plastic weed membrane that I've got. I've had it for years, I've reused it and reused it, so I try and avoid plastic where possible, but it will help keep the path in place, and it's not a single use. I have used it multiple times already, although I'm hoping it will stay there permanently from then on. So that's the plan. Put the weed membrane down first to create the path, cover the whole area in wood chip, cover what I want to be a bed in cardboard, and then cover in compost. By doing it this way, and I'm not saying you have to, the wood chip is an extra that I wouldn't normally advocate, but I have it, and I just think in this instance it might be helpful. The cardboard should be sufficient normally, but you do need to make sure that you overlap the cardboard when you're placing it down. Because I'm putting the wood chip down, it's probably not so essential to do that, but in any other circumstance, then you need to make sure that there's no gaps, because you really do want to prevent the light from getting in and keeping those weeds growing. So, a lot to do, I best get on. Looks so much better now that I've just got the wood chips on. This is just the way that I'm doing it. It is not the only way of doing it. So please bear that in mind and remember the principles when you start doing yours. Block out the light and then add a compost layer of about 10 centimetres. So I'm kind of thinking about a fist depth of compost, and you'll be planting into that compost. So first year, you're looking at planting easy to grow plants like annuals and things. You don't want to be planting a big perennial that's got a big root base, otherwise you're digging down, which is fine. I mean, we're going down into soil, but you'll be then breaking that light barrier and weeds can grow up. So first year, I would recommend just planting plants with quite a light root growth. So this is going to be lots of annuals that I'm just going to sprinkle seeds on, plant a few autumn grown hardy annuals and a few perennials, and just see what happens. And then next year I'll reconsider the planting. It still stands. You don't need to use the wood chips to make a no-dig bed. It's all about blocking the light. So in my bed, I've got a double layer, a triple layer even, of blocking out the light. The wood chip, the cardboard, and then the compost. Surely that creeping grass will not come through that. I'll find out next year. So with the bed made, you might wonder when is the best time to make a no-dig bed. And really, the honest answer is it doesn't matter. I am going to be planting straight into this bed now. It's spring and I have plants that are good to go. You could do it in autumn and give the time for the cardboard to decompose, for the perhaps underlying weeds to be killed off naturally, and then you can plant with a bigger root ball so that you're not breaking through. But equally, in winter, a lot of plant growth is suspended. Therefore, you're perhaps not leaving it with enough time for them to be killed off in darkness before the growth spurt starts in March. So really, all I'm saying is it doesn't matter. Whenever you are available and you've got the time and the materials, you are good to go. One thing I would recommend is making sure you have an edge round your new no-dig bed, and particularly if you have a problem with creeping weeds. That edge, and I want to say of at least a foot, if not more, will allow the break-off point of the weeds from getting into the bed. So you can see if they're starting to creep into your edging material, and you can then stop them there before they get themselves into the bed. Now obviously if you're building in raised beds, then the bed edges should be sufficient to stop that creeping grass from getting in. But if that's what you're trying to stop, then I would make sure that there is a buffer around your no-dig bed if it's just laying on the ground. And from there on, I have to admit, I do not really feed my no-dig beds. I'm putting compost on there. Everything that is being grown is grown in compost, which is highly nutritious. So there isn't really any need to be adding further nutrition in there in the first season. For subsequent seasons, then you top it up with more compost. Not as deeply, not the 10 centimetres that you're starting with, just say, 5 centimetres, maybe even 2 or 3 centimetres. So you're putting on another layer of compost. Or if you're choosing to mulch, then you feed the plants as they're planted with a bit of compost in the planting hole, and that is sufficient. It's a very rare occasion that I add extra fertilisation to my beds. So whether you've got a tiny garden, a small corner that needs to be refreshed, or a whole allotment to establish, I hope I've inspired you to give No Dig a go. A No Dig bed is a brilliant place to start. It's easy, it's affordable, and it really does work. If you want to see what I plant in my No Dig beds and how they fare, then subscribe and I will take you along the journey with me. And if you've already tried No Dig, I'd love to hear how it went. Pop a comment below and let me know. Happy gardening, and I'll see you in the next one.